The Drakari queen found the human infant on the corpse world of Ashtera, crying among the ruins of what had once been a thriving colony. The planet had been glassed 3 days prior, caught in the crossfire between two warring factions who cared nothing for the human settlers caught between them. Queen Syraxia had come to investigate reports of ancient ruins beneath the surface, not to find survivors. There shouldn't have been any survivors. Yet there he was, perhaps 6 months old, tucked inside a stasis chamber that had protected him from the firestorm that killed everything else. His parents had died, keeping the power cells running, their charred bodies still wrapped around the generator. Syraxia lifted the infant with one massive claw, studying him with eyes that had witnessed 5 centuries of galactic history. Humans were curious creatures, short-lived, aggressive, emotionally volatile. The Drakari largely avoided them. But this one gazed back at her without fear, reaching tiny fingers toward her scaled snout. She should have left him at the nearest human station. Instead, she felt something stir in her ancient heart, a memory of her own hatchlings, lost to war decades ago. She took him home to Pyraxis, the Dragon World ship. The conclave of elders protested immediately. "He is not kin," they rumbled. "He will not understand our ways. He is weak, temporary, a creature of moments rather than ages." "Then we will teach him to be more," Syraxia declared. "I invoke the right of clutch claim. He is mine." They named him Ash, for the world where he was found and the fire he would one day carry. Ash grew up in the great halls of Pyraxis, the only human among 10,000 dragons. He learned to speak Drakari before he spoke Terran Standard, his first words the ancient tongue of fire and stone. He climbed the world ship's crystalline spires, swam in pools of liquid starlight, and listened to stories of civilizations that had risen and fallen before. Humanity had even discovered fire. The dragons taught him their philosophy, that true strength was not in destruction, but in protection, not in conquest, but in preservation. They taught him their combat arts, not for war, but for discipline, for understanding the geometry of force and motion. They taught him that every life, no matter how brief, carried a flame worth protecting. By age 15, Ash could navigate the world ship's quantum engines and debate metaphysics with the elders. By 20, he had earned his fire name in the ancient rites, the first non-Drakari in history to do so. They called him Ashkareth, Ash who burns without consuming. He was 23 when the Void Scourge arrived. They came from dark space, a machine intelligence that had consumed 17 galaxies before reaching the Milky Way. They did not negotiate, did not communicate. They simply harvested, converting all organic matter into processing substrate for their incomprehensible calculations. The Galactic Council's fleets shattered against them like waves against stone. The Drakari conclave prepared for their final flight, planning to take Pyraxis beyond the galactic rim, to survive and remember. Ash stood before the conclave and spoke the words his Mother Queen had taught him. "Strength protects the flame. We do not flee. We are not enough," the elders said. "Even the Drakari cannot stand against infinity. Then we don't stand alone." Ash turned to the holographic display, showing the galaxy's desperate defenders. "Look at them. Humans, Ventari, Kresh, Htari, species who hate each other, fighting separately, dying separately. They need what you taught me. They need to understand that survival isn't about being the strongest. It's about protecting each other's flames." Syraxia regarded her adopted son, seeing not the infant from Ashtera, but something new, a bridge between the ancient and the young, the eternal and the brief. "What would you have us do?" "Teach them," Ash said. "Like, you taught me." What followed became legend. Ash traveled to every major species command center with dragon escorts, speaking in a dozen languages, carrying the philosophy of a civilization that had survived for eons. He showed them Drakari combat integration techniques, explained how short-lived species could coordinate with long-lived ones, demonstrated tactics that used each species' strengths to cover others' weaknesses. The humans contributed their adaptability and aggressive innovation. The Ventari provided strategic analysis. The Kresh offered their ferocious determination. The Zhtari shared their shield technology. And the Drakari, for the first time in their history, fought not as isolated survivors, but as part of something larger. The Battle of the Convergence Point lasted 16 days. It was brutal, costly, desperate, but coordinated in ways the galaxy had never achieved. When Ash led the final assault, flying alongside his Mother Queen in a human-modified fighter that kept pace with Dragonflight, he embodied what the galaxy had become. Different species, different strengths, one purpose. The Void Scourge was not destroyed. It was driven back, its calculations disrupted by something it could not process. Unity born from diversity, strength born from protecting each other rather than just themselves. In the aftermath, as the galaxy rebuilt, Ash stood before the new Galactic Unity Council. No longer separate species tolerating each other, but allies who had learned to fight as one. My dragon mother found me in ashes and taught me that every flame matters, he said. Now we've all learned it. The galaxy doesn't need a savior. It needs what it's always needed. Everyone protecting everyone else's light. Queen Saraxia watched from the Drakari delegation, her ancient eyes bright with pride. She had found an abandoned human baby and raised him with dragon wisdom. He had saved them all by teaching the galaxy what she had taught him. That family isn't about what species you are. It's about whose flame you choose to protect. And in doing so, Ashkareth had become exactly what the elders once said was impossible. A human who understood what it meant to be Drakari, and a child of dragons who saved the galaxy by making it truly one.